Welcome everyone to another installment of our client case study interviews. Today I've got Rachel Dunn and Michael Hull with me from Girl Director. They wear many hats. We've known each other for a long time, so I'm really thrilled to have them both on to share their story with you today. Welcome, Rachel and Michael. It's great to have you here today.
Thanks, Karen. It's fantastic.
Hello. Thanks for having us. Great to have a catch up.
I know we do this from time to time, but it's always good to check in and kind of see what else is happening for you both. Before we get started though, can you share just a little bit of your backstory? Tell us about Girl Director, some of the multiple roles that you have. That's going to be really beautiful for everyone to put some context around what we're going to cover today.
Okay, you want to?
Or you should start.
Okay,
You're
so
the original Girl Director.
Well, Girl Director started. It's been 10 years online, and we've been teaching women entrepreneurs and business leaders how to integrate video into their business and helping them to massively grow their business and start being visible with really quality content. And that's where we met you, and it was it's so exciting. We love to work with business owners to just up-level their video side. So Girl Director came from, I've been in the industry for 30 years as a director and multifaceted in the TV and film industry. So it's just been wonderful to be able to share that knowledge with leaders. And Michael and I are, we're husband and wife.
Yes.
Actually, I say that surprisingly because we just got married a year ago.
Even though we've been together for nearly 20 years.
So So do you want to share?
Yeah. So when Rachel already had the Girl Director brand and was a production company, and then back in 2012, I started working with her and I joined the business officially at the beginning of 2013. So that's been 10 years anniversary this year. And that's when we started teaching, as Rachel was talking about. And that's been an amazing experience. And we still do high-end productions as well with clients. So the thing that I love about what we do together is we're very different people in terms of how we work, but we complement each other. And we have other team members as well who have an effect like that too. And so it means that we can really back each other up, whether it's on the technical side, whether it's in the strategy side, the creative side, and all those different things. And because we work from home and we literally have built our lives around creating what we want for ourselves, it's been an amazing experience. And of course, we'll talk about working with Karen and TAR in a minute, because that's had a massive effect as well on creating that whole lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So good. So tell us the first time I came to you first, actually. We did video coaching first.
Yes.
So we already knew each other. But
2014 or 2015?
It was really, I remember when you came to our house and we did like a VIP, you being in front of the camera. And I said to Michael, you know what? Karen's a star. She's a rock star. She's going to be doing big things. I just know it. And, here we are today. And I just love it.
We are all these years later. It was a long time ago. It was great. And then you came to me to get into the blueprint, the TAR coaching, which would have been around 2016, I reckon. Tell us what was going on for you then. Like what was happening for you in 2016 that made you reach out?
So it's interesting. I think that also I was been watching you and watching what you're doing online, and I was thinking, what's Karen doing? Like something has massively shifted. And of course, because I watch and I'm observing, and something in your energy has shifted, and I just really felt it. And I think that at the time we were traveling around, we're working in different places. And I just remember that we found that we grew quickly when we were online, but then we plateaued. And it was getting to the point where we just were trying all these things and just, it was just this, like we were spinning our wheels and we just couldn't work out, how do we get over this? How do we get over this mark to make more of a difference and to reach our goals? And that's really where I went, well, I want to see what you're doing and ask for help and see, if that can help us.
And it was interesting because Rachel told me how you had started working with Bob Proctor, and that was really interesting because I I did his You Were Born Rich program back in 1999. So, and I'd had massive results and done a lot of great shifts in my life through that period, and done a lot of personal development in other areas, landmark and all kinds of things, which I loved and had great shifts from. But it was interesting when you were talking to Rachel, and it was like, wow. So, Bob had obviously become quite famous again from The Secret, but I sort of thought Bob was getting older and not a lot was going on. And then you introduced us back to that work and the whole Thinking into Results program. And I was blown away by just how all of that work stuff I'd learned in the past and more had been consolidated, like particularly Bob with Sandy Gallagher. They'd created this program that was so foundational and so powerful and so good for business, because a lot of the stuff I'd done was more around the personal side or investments, not around working together as a business. And so when we consolidated that, and then the Karen Brook effect on top of that was absolutely brilliant, because we got to work with you directly. And obviously that really made massive shifts. We really consolidated our business at that point. Rachel said, as I said, we were sort of spinning wheels, we were plateauing, but we were able to really focus, and it was obviously all in the mindset. And that was a huge thing. And creating practices and disciplines. And I'm not a very disciplined person. I'm a very creative person. I love to fly by the seat of my pants. And that still really works for me in a lot of ways. But there were disciplines we started putting in, and the results just started to flow naturally from that. And we started to find massive growth. And we literally turned our business around, and we're hitting goals we've been trying to hit for a number of years.
So tell us
and we were
more
blitzing
about
those
that
goals.
then. What were some of the results that you were looking for? We know what was going on now. What were some of the results that you were really looking for? And share a couple of examples of results that you did create.
Well, yeah.
I think it's more of, it was a cash there was a cash result or financial result that we were going after. So we really doubled, I think, where we were, because we tried for so many years to get to this particular goal.
Well, we'd had a goal to start hitting 40 grand a month regularly, right? So, and that we were not doing that. And then we hit that, and then we blitzed that. And then we got up to 90 grand a month, and then we hit 100 grand a month about a year later. So we just, by focusing, we started to hit the kind of incomes that we only ever dreamed of. And to be fair, when I worked in the corporate world for a long time, my highest earn ever on that was 104 grand. I remember that one year with bonuses and everything, and that was pretty good. We did that in a month.
You did turn your annual income into monthly income.
Yes, that's right. And that was huge. And that was revelatory.
Yeah. And it was also something that you teach too, around that it happens easily. And I found that, I think what happens to us is, things just shifted, and we were really good students. I was a really good student.
I was pretty good when we started, but you're right. I was better than I often am.
And we were doing everything, whatever you said to do, we did. And, even though writing things out many times was, I really enjoyed that. So
and the things what worked really well was we created routines, and that was part of it. So we would get up in the morning, have our coffee, and we would do our mindset work, our TR work, listening to lessons, doing worksheets, doing a whole bunch of journaling and stuff that you teach us in that program. And that just created, again, that's where the discipline started to come in that I was talking about before, which I loved.
Mm-hmm. And so,
by the way, sorry, Karen, can you hear our cleaners vacuuming just around the house? Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear, and my cleaner's here as well, and I'm like,
okay, and we can't hear yours. Perfect.
So, no, we can't hear anywhere.
Things get done, and you can't hear them.
We've both got cleaners.
Yeah,
I know exactly. The effortless way. It's so good. Just share a little bit, like, the enjoyment. So there you were for years, tracking 10, 20, 30, but you wanted to hit 40 grand a month. And then before you knew it, you're up to 90, 100. After obviously trying for a long time before that to hit those sort of numbers. How did it change for you going to work every day, knowing that you were now really living and building your dream business? Like, how did that change? How did it feel?
fulfilling.
I think for me, I still had it inner pressure, and that's why we're back doing more work too, because it was kind of like, that's good, but more. It was just, you know, we were just striving. And that's why I think we're back to is just doing it more effortlessly, and just going deeper. But it was amazing. And I remember it happened and we're like, wow, okay. And I remember a couple of times talking to you about just wanting to pull out of things that, you know, our mind, we had the inspired thought, but you're like, no, don't sabotage it, just do that. And then that's when we started to hit our strides. So sometimes, you know, that's why it's so good to have the coaching, because you don't know sometimes when you're going to, you know, have these things that stop you as well.
It's interesting, yeah, because I remember, I'll never forget this one particular night. So we'd been, you know, running the business, so we sold online and we did workshops, but we always then took people afterwards. And then we were talking, we wanted to start selling from the stage at the end of the workshop, make an offer. And we had, and I remember that evening before it was all on, we were just finalizing all the paperwork and everything. And we were starting to freak out. And we literally were going, you know, I don't think it's going to work. It's going to be, you know, it's going to fail. It's going to be just really uncomfortable. I think we should just go back to the way we always did it before. and you'd been coaching us through doing this to encourage us. Yes, do that. It was really good. And we were kind of at the last minute. I remember it was about, I think it was
10
about
o'clock at night.
10 o'clock or 10:30. It was like going, oh, and then we both, hold on a sec. And it goes back to one of the lessons that we learned through TIR, the terror barrier. We're in the terror barrier. Aha, it's all right. It's all right. So what do you do with the terror barrier? You kick through it. You just do it. So yeah, let's just do it. Let's finish this paperwork off. We did that. We ran the workshop the next day and we made 30 grand in a day. And that was like, oh my God. And we were through the roof. It's like, yes.
It was just surreal. It was like, did that happen?
Yeah, it was. It was. And that was obviously our biggest. Yeah, exactly. And that happened. That was the first of those.
And then you just earned it in a day.
It was amazing. So that really shifted things. And you're saying before, what else came as a result of doing these things? What opened up by us being able to run our business successfully and help the people we want to help and basically live life on our terms. We've both got massive creative projects that we are working on, have always been working on. And it gave us freedom to start to really think, okay, those things are possible. Because we've achieved these things, I know we can apply these same principles and keep working toward these other big things, which are massive, okay? And so they suddenly open up. And so they're all integrated into our lifestyle and everything we do. We're always working on these multiple projects that we'll share about, I'm sure, a bit later on.
Tell us about those projects. I think this is a good place. So you have a Girl Director, so your video coaching Girl Director Academy. You also now have more of a done-for-you production side of that, so people can come in and actually have larger documentaries, larger brand features, end-to-end management of that. And you've got other projects as well. Michael, you've got an album coming out. Can I say that?
Yeah. So that's been amazing. So on part of the work that we do with this programming and my script for how I want my life to be has always been in there to record my solo album and to actually work with a really talented producer who could really pull out the best in me and create the music. And then through that was always there. And while we're focusing on other things, and then I got offered a recording contract late last year, which was fantastic, which we signed after playing some demos to the record label. And they signed me, and I'm working with a producer. In fact, I've actually this morning I'm having my first proper production meeting with my new producer who's in LA. Who's worked with people like Kylie Minogue and Mark Ronson and some amazing people. So I'm really excited by that. So that's all happening, and we're due for releasing the first single in April. And then there's a number of singles, and then the album's being released. And this label has contacts and distribution through the US. So that's a huge thing that's going on. And that's a really exciting project because, you know, for me, I'm in my 50s, right? So to actually, I've always been writing music. I've always been playing in bands, and I've always wanted to have a solo career. And now for this opportunity to come now, I'm here to break new ground and show that you can do it. Doesn't matter what age you are. That's the thing. You can still be a successful musician and still be as creative as ever. And I'm writing a whole bunch of new songs as I'm going because I'm inspired. I'm alive. All these things that I've always been doing. You go through periods when things slow down or you start to doubt whether it can happen. Well, that's all gone. That's all happening now. And so the ideas are flowing. I'm just, I'm waking up at night, recording new ideas for new songs or new bits or whatever. So that's going to be very, very exciting for this year.
Oh, so good. And Rachel, what have you've got an exciting project or multiple on the go at the moment as well. Tell us about those.
Look, yeah, we're actually, so our film production company is Impact Film Group, and we're really about how we want to create films that create an impact beyond just the film. And a couple that we're working on, one is Symphony of the Earth, which is about giving animals a voice and bringing musicians in from around the world and giving animals and people a voice, but in this beautiful way with a film.
A feature film,
so a feature film,
animal music,
and that's the first feature film that I'll be directing. And then, I want an Oscar for that. So that's definitely on my vision for that. And then the elephant documentary has been a few years in the making, and that's really coming to a head right now. And that's definitely a big story. So that's called I Am Elephant, or actually it's working title at the moment. It's Through Elephant Eyes, but I've changed it to I Am Elephant.
Yeah.
So
and that's been amazing because we started filming that a long time ago. We've been to Africa and Thailand filming but the way this is going, that's right. The last couple of days, Rachel literally negotiated to buy an African elephant, a beautiful one in the doco to save him so that he can ultimately return and be free, which is what he wants, which is huge.
So
and in Impact Film Group as well, we've actually got other feature films that we are working on because we have partners in there as well. And we've got a couple at the moment. I can't give details, but a couple at the moment where we've got a major streaming company who's actually putting in, or in negotiations, putting serious development funding to get those two feature films off the ground and ultimately be released on those platforms. And we've got a few, I've got a whole slate of films that we're working on. So there's a bunch of stuff there. And I've got a big C-type goal for me, which I always had. I wrote a novel about intelligent plants on Earth 100 million years ago. It's like an organic science fantasy story.
I remember you writing that.
And I finished that a while back. And that has always been in my mind to be a massive feature film. It's going to be expensive because it's going to be all CGI. We're talking about 100 million probably dollars to make the film, maybe more. So we're not quite ready for that. But what we do as we're working the goals is building our film company and our relationships to actually get to the point where we'll be able to make that as well down the track. So these are all the projects that we're working on. While we're in spare time.
I want you to tell us where people can connect with you in a moment. But before I do that, because you've got a lot on the go. So when you first came in and got into this process, this community with me, this coaching, it was about building initially Girl Director, even though you had these other projects. It was about building that business, multiplying the income, turning your annual income into your monthly income. You have done pretty much all of my programs, actually, Lead the Field, Inner Circle, Wealthy You, and now you're back using the blueprint again. How have you found, now that these other projects are really flourishing for you and you've got multiple sources of income, multiple projects, how would you describe the benefit that you've received from the blueprint, really being in the community? How is it helping you to perform at your best when you've got so much on the go? What does it bring for you?
I think what it brings for me is just being able to study the material constantly, because what I found by not being in that space, it very quickly you just start to, the old thoughts come back, some of the patterns, even though you've shifted, there's some old patterns that can come back. So I just find that being around people that think like this and you can reach out to, and I'm loving the reading group because it means that we can either get up early or spend half an hour just really focused on reading and studying together. and it just makes you think about it during the day. So you're really conscious of the stuff that you're studying. And I just find that it gives me, because discipline is definitely something that I've really worked on to improve. And I find that just being in there, the discipline and being in the conversation, just studying the same material over and over, and like Bob does and what you do, I mean, you're just an amazing student at how you lead and how you study and how you integrate it, and just being around that is just, is super inspiring. So that's why.
For me, it's very much about, first of all, keeping the possibility alive. So keeping focus top of mind of what do I really want? What do we both really want? But what do I really want? What is important to me? And as Rachel said, basically keeping focused on that versus the day-to-day stuff that can be stressful, and there's things out there. And I think when Wallace D. Wattles talks about the difference between competition and creativity, and I love that lesson. It's an awesome lesson, because we just keep creating what we want. It's not about worrying what others are doing or what others think are possible. It's like we're creating our own world. So we just focus on that. And I'm finding more and more we have gotten better and better at making decisions, which has been good, and using team. So we've got, like, we talk about these feature films, they're happening, okay, and through our company that we created, Impact Film Group, with our partners. So it's not just us then doing all that work. We're relying on other people's expertise, and we've got other team people doing stuff. We're a community of people working together with a common goal again. So whether it's Girl Directors' common goal in our team, or whether it's, well, with Medici, which is the name of my solo artist name, with me and the record label and my producer, we're a team working together to produce something beyond me. And that makes it easier. So I just have to just put my bit in. I've just got to lend my ideas, my songs, my voice, my lyrics, but then work together and see what we create, because I don't know where that's going to go. It doesn't matter, because it's going to be creative.
It's so good. How do people get in touch with you, whether it's a business owner wanting to join one of your video coaching programs, or an investor looking to invest in one of your projects? How do they get in touch with you for more information on these things?
I think the easiest way is Girl Director. So if you look up Girl Director either on Facebook, Instagram, not TikTok, because that's my name, but yeah.
I am Rachel Dunn on there. Yeah.
I would say just, if you look up Girl Director, reach out to us. We're on all the platforms, and just whatever's easiest for you, just get in touch and let's have a conversation.
You can always send an email as well. We're both Rachel@girldirector.com or Michael@girldirector.com. So easy to contact there too.
All right, I have two more surefire questions for you. One is favorite manifestation to date. Go.
Well, for me, is this house. We amazing, actually. So we were looking during COVID. We worked out we were able to buy a house. We were looking to buy a house again. We'd had them before and we'd sold them and things. So we looked at this place. We thought, that's going to be amazing. Can we afford it? Can it happen? We rolled up. We loved it. And the guy said, we're selling this today. You've got to put an offer in today, and the best offer will be accepted. It was high pressure, and we didn't like that very much, but we put our offer in, and we went away, and we thought, this is amazing. It was actually my birthday. It's a whole story. Just I don't take too long. But I'd always had on my gold card.
In for next week, we'll record that.
Yeah, I wanted to buy the house. I wanted to buy my next house on my birthday, and that's what happened. And literally, as we drove away, we put the GPS in the phone, and suddenly up pops up Abraham Hicks with a song saying, "If you want it, you can have it. Just get out of your way."
I love that.
It just happened to pop up.
Oh, meant to be. Rachel, what about you? What's your favorite manifestation?
I don't know. I think the cash goal, or like the money goal, just moving through money stuff for me has been big, because I haven't come from that world. So I think that side for me has been huge. When we hit that 90K goal, that was huge. And even the workshop, having 5 sales, standing up there, it was massive. So there are so many, and I'll think of many that I would mention, but that's just a couple.
So good. All right, lucky last question. Your favorite lesson of the Blueprint TIR program, or favorite lesson that you've learned so far working with me?
Mine's the terror barrier. I love the terror barrier. I go back to that all the time. And what I love about the terror barrier is that when I'm in it and I don't realize I'm just freaking out about something because panicking, and then I start to, as soon as I remember, or Rachel says, "Are you in the terror barrier?" It just dissolves. That's all it is. Great. And then I'm suddenly clear to take action. And that's so easy.
Love that. And mine would be lesson 5. And I do this all the time, that if a result's showing up for me that I don't like, I'll draw the stick person, I'll write it all out, and then I will flip it. And I just love that exercise over and over and over again, and use it all the time. And you said to me to do this, and then I write it out 3 times in a row, and it really shifts things. So I just really love lesson 5.
So good. I want to thank you both so much for sharing. I feel like it's the show reel of your story. We could spend hours digging into these different projects, but truly it's a pleasure and a privilege to share you with everybody in our community across all of our platforms. Thank you so much for today.
Well, thank you. And thank you for everything you've done for us and you do for everyone in the community. You're an amazing example of this work, to just teach it, and it's inspirational. Your tirelessness of actually just going consistently is amazing. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Talk to you again soon.